Me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Welcome to our regular meeting agenda this Tuesday, April 7, 2026. First thing we'll talk about is the agenda itself. I need to add an emergency measure regarding an annexation agreement and road utility agreement with the city of Canton on West Street. And I would like to handle that first, if we can make that adjustment. And then is there any commissioner or anybody in the public that would like anything removed from our consent agenda?
I didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat it?
So, did you want to add anything about the West Street addition?
I can just provide some background. As I've indicated during our public meeting presentations, there are exceptions that you can add things to a proposed agenda. In this case, I'm asking to add the annexation agreement with the City of Canton and a road and utility construction agreement. I fully expected a special meeting this week, but we were able to reach a tentative agreement with the City of Canton, so I'm asking to put this on the agenda today. So we can move forward with that project. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer those when it's time on the agenda to address those.
All right, thank you. With all of that, can I get a motion to approve our agenda this morning?
Motion to approve, Otten.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Alicia, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Putnam?
No.
Okay. Schmidt?
Yes.
Otten?
Yes.
Aaron's?
No.
Landine?
Yes, motion carries. And then can I get a motion to approve our consent agenda?
Approve, Otten.
Is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Alicia, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Putnam?
No.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Otten?
Yes.
Aaron's?
Yes.
Landine?
Yes, motion carries. First item on our agenda is West Street annexation agreement and road and utility agreement.
Morning again, Commissioner. Drew DeGroat from the State's Attorney's Office. So I'm just going to kind of run through these two agreements a little bit with the Commission. The first one is what I'm asking for is board action or a motion to authorize the chair to sign the annexation agreement upon final approval from the State's Attorney's Office as to form. There may be a few things that we need to double check just as far as exhibits are concerned to make sure everything's in line from an engineering standpoint. But just a brief overview, what this annexation agreement really is just putting a ribbon around all previous agreements that we've reached with the City of Canton. If you recall, there was board action to install the sewer main to the south of the Justice Center, with the city paying for the upsize and dewatering a portion of that. So that's encompassed in this agreement. What's also encompassed in the agreement is the sanitary sewer main that will go on West Street from the south entrance down to Highway 18, with the City of Canton agreeing to pay for the upsize and the dewatering a portion of that in that agreement. But what this also calls for is, if you recall, there was engineering to install a sanitary line all the way up North Street. The City of Canton would like to re-examine that, so we were getting numbers from our engineer what the cost would be to install a sanitary line all the way up North Street. The City of Canton has agreed to pay for 100% of those costs if they choose to do so. There is a provision in there that the City Commission would have to approve that additional expenditure, so if they think it's too much, they won't approve that, and we can proceed as planned, as previously agreed with the city, but they would like that option. Further, the agreement calls for is, again, This commission has already taken action to put a 9-inch underlay and 5-inch overlay of asphalt all the way up West Street. That's contemplated in this action. One thing that the city commission has asked us to look into is a turning lane into the south entrance just for future planning purposes. And we're reaching out to our engineers to see if there's enough room in the right-of-way to do so. So we're examining that. Again, it's something that, it's not a guarantee, but it's something that they asked us to look into. And then one thing that's also in there would be the conveyance of a right-of-way on the north side of the property. This was actually suggested by DOT Engineering, because when they were looking at our site selection, they believed that it was appropriate for future planning to have a right-of-way there for future fire protection, emergency services. So, but in relation to that, if we were conveying that right-of-way to the city, that they have agreed to not assess the county for any future development of that right-of-way. So any installation of that road or any type of public infrastructure, they would not assess the county for that improvement. So I think it's a good mutual benefit to the county and the city for that purpose. Now, switching over, if you have any questions on the annexation agreement, then I'll move over to the road and utility.
I have a question,
Sure.
Drew. So
Have this here.
this commission had agreed to pay for the asphalt all the way to the north.
Correct.
With the understanding that they weren't gonna put that sanitary sewer line. Does this contemplate them, the city then paying for that asphalt for that section of road?
No, it does not, because we had already agreed to do that, so it'd just be them paying for 100% of the costs, which would include any change order costs or delay costs, that would be included in that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Drew,
Yes,
good morning.
morning.
If you go with me to page 3 here. Section 3, paragraph 3, there's a blank line in there.
Yep,
It says the makeup of the cost to the city is 100% of the installation cost, which is estimated to be approximately blank. Now, the county pays that to the city, correct?
no, that would
Okay.
be what the city would pay to the county, and
Okay.
that's what we're waiting on engineering cost estimates
Okay.
and supply cost estimates.
And when will we have that number, do you think?
We're still waiting, they said they're working as quick as they can. Obviously, they have to reach the supplier if there's any delay time, so we're just waiting on that cost estimate to be able to provide that to the city.
Okay, so, and then the next question I have, and maybe this follows in the wake of Commissioner Landin's question. In that next sentence, it states that the city will remit payment upon construction, approval, final invoice, pay for cost incurred to improve the street section to 5 inches of asphalt. Or, excuse me, it says the county agrees that it will pay for the cost of the street section. Do we know what those costs are yet?
Yeah, we had those, I can't, off the top of my head, I know we had that cost estimate, and this commission approved that cost estimate in, I believe, November 4th of 2025 is when we had that
We did
final
approve it,
cost
I don't
estimate.
remember what the actual cost was, though.
I believe it was around 389,000. This is again off the top of my head, but I thought it was somewhere around there.
Sure. No, thank you. And then, next question I have is, and I had some constituents here call me yesterday about this as well. Is there can you help me out here? Is there a cost recovery component built into this where the county is able to recover like I guess it was put to me, like a hookup fee?
Not to the county, and the rationale behind that was because the city was paying for the stub outs. So they were actually paying for the stub outs and the connections that would occur should any citizens want to hook up.
Okay, so the city will be able to recover its cost for these stub outs, but the county will not be able to.
Yeah,
correct?
and the rationale behind that is because we're paying for the install of what we need and they're paying for any upsizing, dewatering, stub outs, and the additional connections. So that was the rationale behind that, is that we are just paying for what we need, and they're paying the additional.
Okay. Thank you, appreciate it.
Drew, I'm going to turn the chair over to Commissioner Schmidt. I have a court hearing that I need to go to, so
Okay.
I'll be back depending on how long that takes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Just real quickly with the road and utility construction agreement, again, this is kind of repeating some of the things that are already in the annexation agreement, that the city, or excuse me, that the county will install the sanitary sewer main, that the city will be responsible for any upsizing and stub out costs, that the county will be responsible for detour routing. I did hear some concerns, last night I attended the city commission, I did hear some concerns from signage, so we will address that. That there needs to be a little bit maybe more appropriate signage out there. So we will address that, and if you have any questions on that, that's pretty just straightforward, since our contractors are doing the work on the road and utility agreement.
Another question,
Yes.
Drew. Just because I haven't had enough time to read through all
Nope, I understand.
7 pages here. But one of the questions I have based off of your email was the left turn lane. Is that issue addressed in this document?
No, it's not,
Okay.
because that's one, we're checking with our engineers to see if there is enough room in the right-of-way. We're not sure of that yet, the city is not sure of that yet, they just asked that we look into it, if there is enough room, since we're tearing up, the road and redoing it at that time, it'd be more cost-effective to install that turning lane now, as opposed to in the future. But again, it's all conditioned on whether there's enough room in that right-of-way.
Is a traffic study going to be completed to determine whether that left turn lane is justified?
Yeah, so I will speak to that a little bit. So we did have a traffic study done. What we found after it was finalized was that they were using inflated numbers. And what I'm trying to go off my memory here. So what they predicted is that we'd have 450 visitors, unique visitors, not employees, a day out to the courthouse. And so what we did is we actually had our security actually asking people what were the purposes they were coming to our courthouse here. Are they coming for court purposes? Would that be court services? Where are they going to court, mag court, circuit court? Are they going to the state's attorney's office? Any type of office that would only be located out there. And what we have from our numbers is we average around, with employees, around 80 visitors a day. We did have a jury trial and a grand jury and paneling during these last 2 weeks. So we had 2 days that were a little bit busier than normal. One day was around 200 visitors, unique visitors. And when I say unique visitors, keep in mind that a couple times we have juvenile court or other type of court proceedings where multiple people are coming in one car. So what we are doing is we are requesting HDR update that traffic impact study to see what type of traffic would be impacted out there and how it would be impacted. Because it certainly isn't to the extent that was originally placed in the numbers. And I'll tell you how they reached that 450 number is they actually took the Minnehaha County court cases and tried to extrapolate of what our court numbers would be of visitors per day. But what they kind of failed to realize, and you would probably know this, is court services is also a main function up in the Minnehaha County Courthouse. We have a lot of probationers that are sentenced down here, and they actually serve probation up there.
Right.
So they have a lot more unique visitors up there. And so another thing in Lincoln County, a lot of times judges will allow Zoom, people to appear by Zoom for their hearings. So while they're physically present in the courtroom here with the judge and the state's attorney's office or one of the parties, they let people appear. So Minnehaha County, that they usually appear personally because of transportation is a lot more accessible up there. So there's some unique aspects that they didn't account for when they were counting unique visitors or estimating unique visitors.
And that traffic study that you referenced, that wasn't, they didn't rely upon those numbers for any other purposes, did they? Just to attempt to justify this turn lane, or?
I will say that it's a concern of, I guess, maybe future planning. of, let's say, gets to a point that the traffic numbers, just so it's not an inconvenience for the residents on that road, that if to the point, and you saw from the state's attorney's presentation, we continue to see our cases rise, 3 to 5% every year. So it was more of just a future planning concern from the city's perspective, that they wanted us to look into that just to make sure that it wasn't an inconvenience to the area residents out there.
Just last question here goes to the timing of this. I get it, Canton passed it last night.
Yep.
What is why do we need to pass this morning?
Yeah, and you saw my email last night that I understand how quickly we're putting this together, asking this to be on it was not on the proposed agenda. We're asking to amend the proposed agenda to add this. I'd be comfortable setting up a special meeting and noticing it for tomorrow already. We have 24 hours that we can do that. We can hold it by teleconference if the board's not comfortable passing it now. Again, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible going through this, though, because I understand the nature of the request by adding it to the agenda.
In terms of the construction schedule, though, when do they need to hear back from us on this?
That's why I'd schedule a special meeting tomorrow already, just to make sure that they can proceed under the agreement.
Okay, thank you.
So there is an emergency aspect to this, just because of, I'll tell you that the utility contractors, if they didn't have final notice today or this week, I think it was Monday afternoon to Tuesday, they were gonna pick up and leave and not come back till October. So it would be a substantial delay. And so that's part of the emergency, is that we need to get moving on this, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Further questions for Drew?
So what I'd ask is two separate motions. One, a motion to authorize the chair to sign the annexation agreement upon final approval from the state's attorney's office to form. Just want to double check the exhibits, make sure all the engineering plans and everything are what they need to be when we enter this agreement. And then the second motion would be, again, motion to authorize the chair to enter into the road and utility construction agreement upon final review as to form by the state's attorney's office.
And you're looking for that now?
Yes.
I can make both of those motions, Otten. Do you want them separately?
I
or-
would like them separately. Yes.
Okay,
We have a motion to sign for the annexation agreement. Do we have a second?
I'll make a second for the purposes of discussion.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Well, it's never ideal. It's, as Justice Salter would say, it's suboptimal to have an agreement like this foisted on us at the 11th hour. And I guess that's what happens when you have to negotiate with another municipality. They get a vote in this too. I just don't understand why they backed us up to the very last minute here. It's not good planning and forecasting for us. And so now it's kind of like take it or leave it. But I do believe that you, Drew, and the rest of the folks have done the yeoman's work here to get this agreement where it needs to be. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Now, you said that they were gonna pack up and leave if we don't do this today?
I believe it wasn't today, but they needed final word this week, so that's why I said if you're not comfortable passing it now, I'm gonna ask the chair or the auditor, because those are the two that have the authorization to schedule a special meeting, to set a special meeting to consider this either probably tomorrow afternoon. So if you're not comfortable moving forward, that's fine.
No, I seen there was work done. They were tearing up the concrete on a road right there by the,
Yeah, and that's based upon the previous agreement, so this is to the full extent of the agreement, yeah.
is that the same company or is that a different
Yes,
company?
yep.
So it don't look like they're gonna be pulling out anytime soon. They're in the middle of
Well, if they don't
concrete.
get the full approval, then they will pull out after they get only a certain point, so.
We have a motion, a second. Do you have any public comment?
Linda Montgomery, Fairview, South Dakota. I just find this interesting that all of a sudden we are at an emergency meeting about having to annex this. And it will be the same for the other one. We have known about this Justice Center for how long? We've known that this is going to have to be done for how long? And also, you all were provided with literature about this. The public was not. We are totally in the blind, and I don't think that ever should happen at this level of government. Thank you. Please table this.
Further public comment? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
And this is the motion to authorize the annexation agreement.
Annexation, yes.
Okay, thank you.
First one.
Commissioner Putnam?
No.
Otten?
Yes.
Aaron's?
No.
Schmidt?
Yes. Motion fails.
What I would suggest, Commissioner Schmidt, is the next best thing, and again, it's suboptimal, is just schedule this up for tomorrow. I don't know why this had to wait till the 11th hour to get to us. I just don't know what's going on here in terms
Then
of
there's
the,
no,
in terms of the planning and forecasting of this. So, I mean, folks heard what the state's attorney said. We got contractors who are going to pack up their gear and leave. And that's not the fault of the state's attorney or of this commission. But I would like, something's going on here that just is not helpful for us. You would think we'd have these things weeks and months in advance, but that just didn't happen here with the city of Canton. And I just don't know what's going on.
Commissioner Aaron's, I will say that the commission discussed this at one time, and it was brought up earlier today, that Canton, the city of Canton decided that they were not going to move forward with the paving of the road. So we were on hold with that and working with what we had to work with. So it's all on the city of Canton, as far as I know.
Drew, if we have a failed motion, and City of Canton certainly has been complicit in this thing, and we're facing a deadline, do you have a backup time when this commission
Yeah.
can meet after they've had sufficient time to digest or reread or whatever is necessary for them to feel comfortable?
Yeah, and like I said, we can schedule a special meeting tomorrow. Again, I understand Commissioner Aaron's concerns. We have been negotiating this for months, addressing concerns from the county, addressing concerns from the city. So, we've both been, negotiating the terms of this agreement for some time now. So this isn't, I wouldn't necessarily characterize it. I get it's 11th hour as far as getting it in front of the commission, but we have been negotiating it. Certainly understand the public's concern. These will be published. They won't be, they're public record. The agreements will be published. But I can set this for a special meeting or request the chair or the auditor to call a special meeting tomorrow afternoon. We can hold it by teleconference if the commissioners can't make it down here. I'm comfortable proceeding in
So
that
by
fashion.
delaying 24 hours, does that meet everybody's timeline so that you have time enough to digest this an additional day?
Well, Commissioner Schmidt, and thank you for the question. I think it's going to have to.
Okay.
It would obviously be nice if we could delay it a week, but we just heard that we can't because of the contractor issue. And, when you've got contractors telling you they're going to walk off the job, you they get a vote in this too, unfortunately. And so that's a big, very big concern that we got to wrestle with here. We don't want there to be any delays and cause any increased expense to the county as a result of this. And, obviously, I'm concerned about the public's ability to be able to digest all of this as well. And, I mean, it's just not reasonable that they'd be able to do it within 24 hours. And that's not their fault. That's not the fault of the public. So we're just in a very tight situation here, and we've got to make the best of it. And I think the reasonable way forward is just have a little delay till tomorrow.
Are we able to do it at the end of the agenda today?
You could certainly make a motion to move it to the end of the agenda, but I'm comfortable moving forward if, I think from a timeline standpoint, and Kyle, if we did it tomorrow, it'd be fine, so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this isn't about jamming it through until you have the third vote come here when she's done with her hearing. This is about giving the public time to be able to review the documents and what's going on. So my point of view isn't, what do we do to just get this over with and check the box? My point of view here is you give the public the necessary time to be able to review this. I mean, I haven't even read all 7 pages of this yet.
But you had it on an email from Drew several days ago.
Not several days ago, Commissioner Otten, yesterday afternoon.
I'll stop the discussion and just say that I'll talk to the auditor and the chair about setting it for a special meeting tomorrow, and we'll have it reviewed at that
Yeah,
point.
there's no need, Commissioner Otten, to exaggerate things.
Oh, Joel,
Just
I'm
let-
just
just-
done with it.
excuse me.
Stop.
Just use
Excuse
the-
me, please.
Excuse me, just
Just a
use
little
the,
decorum here.
Yeah.
We will have the meeting
I don't
sometime
want the,
tomorrow.
I don't want the public to have the perception that this
No.
document was sent to us several days ago. That's
No.
not true. Facts matter. Facts
Okay.
are stubborn things. This was sent to us yesterday afternoon.
To order and move this thing along, right, I read mine this morning. And Drew, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that this is not necessarily the county situation. We have dealt with the city, and the city has made, yes, they're going to do a certain aspect, and they turn that down, and then this is back, and this is back. We have tried to be as consistent in our process as we can. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Lincoln County is the problem. In my mind, we're not. But it came to this last minute. So not to belabor this, we will ask, if you ask the auditor, she will notify all the commissioners of a meeting sometime tomorrow. Do you have any in mind, auditor, what time that could be?
Let's do 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock tomorrow. We will be having another meeting dealing with both the annexation and the construction agreement. Is that true?
Yes, and to your point a little bit, Commissioner, I don't think we need to throw anybody under the bus.
No,
We've come to an agreement now, we're moving forward in a mutual benefit of both the party and both
trying to
parties,
get
the
this
county and the
thing
city, moving forward in a cooperative manner that both benefits the city, looking into some of the things they've asked us to look into, and we can get moved forward and get that Justice Center opened at,
And from the
in the
city
end of
standpoint-
October at the time that it's estimated to be the substantial completion date.
The city standpoint will give them an opportunity for an industrial park and many other options for their future. Okay, thank you.
Real quick, just before, for that, would you guys prefer in person or telephonically?
Both.
Both.
For me, Paul, it'll have to be telephonic. I'm in a mediation all day tomorrow, so I'll have to carve the time out of that to leave that mediation to attend this meeting.
Okay, we'll get it set up.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. First item on our regular agenda is a presentation from Stockwell Engineering on the design for Lincoln County Justice Center. Betty, do you want to introduce this, please?
Yes, we had a meeting last week on the Veterans Memorial. And it was an absolutely wonderful meeting. And I'm going to turn it over to Stockwell because they have the presentation up. And I think that they did a beautiful, beautiful job. And I think you also have a piece of the marble for this in the back, right? You brought that?
Yes.
I'll just let you take it away.
Okay, all right. My name is David Locke, landscape architect with Stockwell. I'll quickly go through the presentation, that way there's time for questions. The first slide there is cover for I guess, can I move it on here? Oh, I can, perfect. All right, so we worked with commissioners and staff in regards to developing Lincoln County Veterans Memorial on the courthouse site. This is a site plan of what's currently being constructed. On the right-hand side is West Street. This is the building here that you can see is being constructed. So the location for the Lincoln County Veterans Memorial Site will be in the southeast corner of the building between the employee parking lot and the public access parking lot. So the design of it here, everything is very symmetrical, linear. When we look at incorporating veterans memorials, we want to make sure that we have, everything lined up, proper distances and proper location of the monuments and number of monuments. So for the planning purposes, so to the bottom part here is the visitors parking lot, which we've talked about designating specifically veteran parking stalls here in close proximity to the memorial. You would enter in from the sidewalk here on the south side and be greeted by a welcome monument, which would have a dedication statement to it, and also the seal of the state of South Dakota. Then moving either left or right would be the military branch monuments. So there's 6 of them for each branch of the military. Image here in the bottom right-hand side of what those would look like. In line with each of the branches of the military would be a colored band of colored concrete to help demarcate their location and draw attention to their location. There would be concrete sidewalk all the way around the outside edge. And on the inside, there would be 6 rows of clay pavers, 6 rows for the 6 military branches, and those would encircle the landscape and concrete curb area that has the military branch monuments in it, with ornamental grasses there in the center. Those brick pavers would have the opportunity to be engraved with loved ones or for donor possibilities. There would be benches located all around the outside edge, and then landscaping, trees, perennials, shrubs that encompass and encircle the space. So this is an image from the south, entering from the visitors parking lot. From a plant material standpoint, utilize red, white, and blue for different colors of flowers throughout the space, or the shrubs would be dogwood that have the red stems on them. Image here from the southwest corner, looking towards the space. From the east, you get a close-up look of the military branch monuments. This would be the concrete curb here. This is the pavers that are in front that could be inscribed, ornamental grasses in between the different military branch monuments. On the north side of the monuments, because the seals face south, and you can walk all the way around where the military branch monuments are, on the back side, they would be inscribed with the Department of Military that they represent. There would also be an opportunity on the large welcome monument on the back side of that, or the north side of that, and put up a plaque that would have the opportunity for donor recognition based on value to be determined yet, but we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity to recognize donors to the memorial, and so that was where those could be in addition to the pavers, clay pavers. We all love winter, so there still is, some images here of the snow. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions at all?
Questions or comments?
Do you have that piece of marble?
Yeah, Kyle's got it.
Because if you bring it up, you can show it on video.
Oh, yeah.
Paul, do you want to bring up the, there you go.
There you go.
And we decided at that meeting, all of us together around that table, that we didn't want a plain black, that we really like the flecks in the
Mhm.
material. And this is from Paulson, correct?
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So the black, this would be the black granite that is used for the branch monuments, and then the seals would be etched into them, and then those would be painted white, so they stand out from the contrast from the black.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful, looks fantastic. Did you create multiple courses of action? Meaning, we have this one that you presented here, which I assume is the one you want us to look at. But, and I'm sure there's a price attached to it
Yes.
and all of that. But did you also create maybe some scaled down versions as well for us to review, so that we as policymakers, people who have to make a decision on how much money to spend, have maybe like a menu of options? I heard just now that there was some kind of meeting where some folks were at, where things were decided. Nobody reported that meeting to me. I don't know.
Nor me.
I don't know what the results were of that meeting. I don't know who was invited to it, but are there some other options to look at?
I can answer that for you.
Yeah.
After we went to this meeting, and we're looking at no more than $285,000 to put this all together. And then we will, because it came in so much less than I thought it was going to be, we did not look at other options because we thought the price was well in line with what we could afford as for the memorial. And I think, Commissioner Schmidt, did you agree with that too?
Yeah, we agreed we were going to raise the money.
Right. So I was always opposed, and am opposed of Lincoln County funding this, but because of the cost, we can, and the timeline, again, it's a crunch time, because this was added to me last minute. It should have been in the original documents, but it was not. But for us to open this at ribbon cutting at the end of October, this was, you guys said that, we asked all kinds of questions, and this can all be done by our ribbon cutting at the end of October. And so then we can start doing our fundraising already, which I've already got pledges of $51,000. And so we just decided to move forward this and bring this forward to the commission meeting today, because our meeting was just last week. And so that's why we're bringing it forward, because we really, this turned out to be a beautiful memorial. Very simple, very timely, and I think it works for both winter and summer, especially with the flowering crab. So I think you guys did a nice job.
Thank you.
I would like to speak whenever I get the opportunity. Go, okay. Now, couldn't you come up with something a little more simple instead of a big labyrinth? We'll have to hire another groundskeeper, just take care of that. We don't need all of the flowers and stuff. It's a memorial for the veterans, you know, and I'm 100% behind them. But maybe we put a wall up with every veteran's name would be a maybe nicer deal of South Dakota veterans that have died in war or whatever, but this is an elaborate deal that I think is a joke, and I don't want nothing to do with it. But Joe and I'll lose on that one because there's 3 against 2. Hell, spend $1 million. But this is wrong. It just looks wrong, it is wrong, it's plain wrong. So,
Any other comments? I mean, I'm going to tell you, maybe I'm wrong, but we have talked about a veterans memorial. And I hold any veteran, anybody, in the highest regard. Anybody that
and I do
has served.
too.
So when it comes down to what design, I'm sure we could put out to a dozen people, we could get a dozen different ideas. We could get any number of things that go on. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. And when I've gone to other courthouses in other communities, and I see the memorials that they put up, they built theirs to, I think, a proper, they presented a proper presentation of appreciation. So, yeah, you could do almost any kind of thing. So, when we've talked about this, we talked about it for a long time, and if you look at the original.
Well, we might have talked about it, but that
Just,
has nothing to do with it.
please,
Yep, go
please.
ahead. Yep.
Go back to the
I'll talk when
original,
you're done.
layout of the courthouse. When you go back to that, there was this particular spot that popped up. And I think John and I talked about that, because I've been talking about this memorial forever, and that seemed like a legitimate spot. So we did contact Stockwell and asked them to take a look at that, because you've done a lot of the other portion of that, and what kind of thing we could fit in. So when we put together something, we didn't have any elaborate, we got 6 stones sitting in a row. And if you take the trees away and you take some of the shrubbery away, it's not very grandiose at all. It is 6 pillars that are standing in a row, honoring the 6 branches of the service, and it's surrounded by foliage and some other things which you would naturally want to have if you're going to build something like this. The other part I want everybody to know was when Commissioner Otten said that she was not in favor of spending any money on this. I probably was not necessarily in favor of that, but having talked this through and having gone out to other businesses, I'm committed to the fact that we're going to pay for this thing entirely from donated dollars, so it won't cost the taxpayers anything. I mean, nothing. So I can't see where anybody's going to object if you get people that have fundraised and you got your community in back of you and they have paid for it, and it hasn't cost the taxpayers of Lincoln County a dime, why we should have some objection to the design of this thing.
Will this come with a maintenance program, like $50,000 a year to maintain all of the shrubbery?
Do you have quantifiable evidence that it would cost $50,000 a year to take care of some shrubs? Let's be real here.
Jesus.
I believe that John and his team are going to do
Oh, I'm
this.
sure they're gonna have to. So,
Let's just
any
spend
other-
that money.
any other?
I do want to say, though, that Lincoln County, that we have agreed to supply the land.
That's what we're gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not opposed to the land. I'm not opposed to the memorial. I think the memorial's good. I just think the memorial's wrong. But you go ahead and build it.
Jim, do you want to do public comment?
yeah, we're gonna do public
Yeah, there we
comment
go.
here
Get
in
her
a
up.
minute. Okay, we'll take public comment at this time.
Where's the flagpole going?
You wanna answer that, John?
The flagpoles are incorporated into the center of the roundabout here as you come into the property from the east and then head towards the center of the building. The flagpoles are located in the center of the roundabout. And so that's why we did not incorporate flagpoles into the memorial site location, because they were incorporated elsewhere, prominently kind of coming into the facility.
Further, any other public comments from people? Well, hearing none, is there action that this board would want to take at this time to approve the Stockwell to move forward on this situation so that we can meet the deadline of the ribbon cutting at the end of October?
Well, I do want to make a motion to authorize the chair to enter into an agreement for the Veterans Memorial construction upon final form approval by the state's attorney's office not to exceed $285,000.
Motion has been made. Do we have a second? The motion fails for lack of a second. So that means, am I to take away from this meeting that this commission is not in favor of building a memorial for our veterans of Lincoln County?
Not at all. I'm in favor of building a memorial to veterans, just not this one.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Yes. You being a veteran, Joel.
Yeah. And I wasn't on.
respect
Yeah, no, thank you, I appreciate it. Look, I appreciate the sentiment you shared earlier, and I agree with all of the sentiment that you expressed earlier, and I appreciate it, and I think a lot of people do. My question geared towards Stockwell, of course, was, I'll just say this, I was shocked by the dollar amount. You know, I was, when I'm supportive of a Veterans Memorial. I said that at our last meeting and voted for the money to do the engineering. And they certainly did come back with a magnificent and beautiful concept here. It really is. For those who, can see it at home or in the drawings here, it really is fantastic what they did. I just want to balance the need, and I call it a need, to memorialize the veterans with the cost of it, though. And so that's why I asked for other courses of action, thinking that, well, usually you put a menu of options in front of policymakers and you say, okay, here's the 100%, and here's the 75%, and here's the 50%, knowing that you have a diversity of viewpoints and opinions. That's not Stockwell's fault, on the board. And what I'm concerned about is that it was just kind of like we're going from 0 to 60 here. I would have thought maybe there'd be a slim down or trim down option that we could have discussed. and that wasn't presented. And-
Yeah.
And so that's what I have, that's what I just have some concern about. I do like the fact that incorporated into this is pavers. You see in a lot of these veterans memorials where it gives an opportunity at a very easy price point for people to come in. I think on this sheet here, it says $250 to have a personalized paver. That certainly is something that I think you see in a lot of memorials, and I appreciate that fact that's been incorporated into here. And it also sounds like some money's been raised as well, $51,000 in pledges, and that's fantastic to hear that as well. And I'm glad we do have that built into the plan here. Commissioner Schmidt, I kind of have to rib you a little bit. We hear that a lot from people when they say, it's all going to be paid for, and taxpayers won't be on the hook for anything. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that a lot over the years, too. And we hear those promises a lot. So my only concern here is that there wasn't more options put forward that were a little more economically feasible, because I just think we have to balance the economics with the need to honor the veterans. Thank you.
Is there an appetite for a redesign that can be an alternate?
Yeah, we can certainly, look at a reduced option from a cost standpoint. There are some elements on this that, like there's, 6 benches, for example, those could come at a later date. There's some things that, we could, eliminate the colored concrete and just go with regular concrete. There wouldn't be a lot of savings there. We could, maybe, push everything closer together and reduce some costs that way as well. So, yeah, there's some things that we can do to minimize, to reduce the costs.
In the timeline that you have, and since you have the basic, you've only got X amount of feet to play with,
Right.
come back with some kind of thing and send that to John, and then also share that with the other commissioners. Send that out, and then if we can put that back, maybe back on the agenda for, as soon as, you get that done, if that'd be okay.
Yeah, we can come
Would
up
that
with a.
satisfy commissioners?
Yes.
What's the total square footage of this?
I do not know off the top of my head how much area it takes up.
So, anyway, I would hope, I have to say this, if somebody did come in and they wanted to pay for the whole thing,
I'd still object.
you'd still object.
Because you don't have to look that.
If somebody wanted to pay, that they give you, never mind. We'll move on. Thank you. We'll be back for number 2. Number 2 on our agenda, consider a motion to approve an agreement with Mead and Hunt to provide an independent fee evaluation for the hangar area expansion project. Drew, you going to cover that, please?
Yeah, I can cover it. David Myers emailed this morning, said he had a CT scan.
He's having a brain scan.
Yeah, to follow up to his
Is his accident?
accident, yep. So I can just cover this real quickly. This is independent fee evaluation required by the FAA. What it does is has an engineering firm independently study what Helms and Associates would be charging us for that South 20-acre expansion. And so it's just a requirement to make sure, I mean, if you want to put it in simplest terms, that they're not cost gouging the county, is what this does, is just to ensure that they're not overpricing.
Okay.
So it asks for a motion to approve.
Questions for Drew on this one?
Now, you said that it was just reconfirm what
what Helms and Associates is charging us for the project, the engineering costs, and this is a 100% reimbursable through FAA grants as well. So, but this is an FAA requirement that we have to get this done in order to.
What did Helms and Associates, I guess I never caught that one. What is it that they?
So they
actually
provide their
propose?
cost estimate to, it would be Mead and Hunt. So we don't have that I don't have that readily available because they provide that to Mead and Hunt and provide.
But
their cost
estimated,
estimate.
what was it that they talked about?
I thought it was around 130,000 of engineering costs or somewhere around there. And so they provide that to Mead
Just
and
for the
Hunt.
concrete pads in front of everything and
Well, the
coming up.
engineering costs. And so this is just what they would do for that type of work. Basically, again, to put it in simplest terms, that they're not cost gouging the county. So
Oh, that Helms and Associates, that's what they were gonna charge for the project.
correct.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
these
there
are
we go.
double checking. to
This is
make
just
sure
the
that-
FAA requirement to
Okay.
double check
Right.
that they're not overpricing their engineering costs.
Do you have any public comment on this?
I guess I wasn't done, but that's all right.
If not, let's have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second, Otten.
We have a motion by Commissioner Aaron's, second by Commissioner Otten. Call the roll, please.
Okay, this is a motion to approve an agreement with Mead and Hunt.
Guess I wasn't done talking, so hell, I'll just say no then.
Commissioner Putnam?
No.
Otten?
Yes.
Aaron's?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes. Item number 3, board discussion on the Lincoln County Airport. Mr. Putnam.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Marv Skeet. And, he was a commissioner, my understanding.
Yes,
Okay, do you know him?
I knew him, yes.
Okay.
Knew him well.
Okay, now, he got us into this fiasco of an airport. And then he set us up for I don't know, he set the Lincoln County taxpayers up for, I don't know what you'd call it, tobacco. I don't think he had the Lincoln County taxpayers in any mind when he entered into the agreement of this, or whoever it was back in the day, of this airport. And then henceforth, ended up with a 20-year agreement at 14 cents or 15 cents, whatever it was. Was Marv Skeet on the board at that time and that got entered into an agreement for 20 years?
I can't say that. I don't know.
Well, 20 years would have been, you'd have been on the board then.
Marvsky was not alive at that time.
Okay, so you were part of the 20-year agreement at 14 cents or 15 cents, whatever it was then.
When the board, for clarifications, just so you don't get too far, when we joined, the airport was set up, there were probably very few hangars at that time, and I don't know the progression of those hangars. They were T hangars, the first ones. And boards prior to me had established the hangar rent. And then that hangar rent just continued on as that. And at that particular time, commissioners before me, it had a crosswind runway. Had commissioners voted to continue with the airport, it could have been a reliever airport for Sioux Falls because it would have had both runways. But commissioners at that time weren't in favor of the airport. In fact, they didn't want it. And they just let people come in and build hangars wherever they wanted. So subsequently, it got built over, so now you have this single strip. So the airport has had neglect for years and years and years. So anyway, that's to answer your question. That set rent was long before my time.
But that 20-year, sweetheart deal that was the hangers people got, was set 20 years ago, well, 26, so we're talking '06. So you were commissioner then. So.
Can I call a point of order? I don't know where
I'm
you're
trying to
going.
get at something.
Well, but you're going back 20 years and you wanted to talk about the airport today.
I
so-
am.
Well, you're really not.
I am. I'm trying to set up a deal here.
Doug, many of those contracts were not uniform. They didn't all come due at the same time. They were staggered all over the place. They came in, onesie twosies. Whenever a hangar was built, it was set. So you can't say, well, in what year this happened. It was renewed, yes, it was renewed.
Jim, you were a part of this whole debacle.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
1/20th of a
Yeah.
vote.
Yeah.
So what's your point?
The point being is, I guess it's a sad affair, but, we need to get better, do better, I guess, now.
We just
And-
approved it at 40 cents.
That's right, and thank
So-
God I was here, it'd been 25.
We'll give you full credit, David, that that was your idea and you caused it all. So can we move on?
Well, let's just move on and hopefully we can do better.
Thank you.
I think this is a joke.
Item number 4 on our agenda, consider a motion to authorize the chair to execute right-of-way acquisition and temporary easements for the CR 116 and CR 105 roundabout project. Terry?
Morning, Commissioners. Terry Floyd, County Highway Superintendent. Have before you 4 right-of-way agreements, right-of-way acquisition and easements, temporary easements for property for the construction of the new roundabout up there. The 4 are for White property, White, Poppins, Hendrickson, and Filer. So looking for approval to have the chair sign these easements and right-of-way acquisition forms.
Go ahead, Madam Chair.
All right. Any commissioners have any questions for our highway superintendent?
Is this the agreement you're talking about?
That looks pretty thick for right-of-way agreements.
The agreement would be in your share file. Do any commissioners have any questions for our highway superintendent?
Where's the chair file at?
Your share file is the online agenda that has all of the documents attached that we talk about during meetings.
Okay, now why isn't here now?
It's online.
It's online.
It's online since you were first committed as a commissioner.
It has been online since I became a
online
commissioner
for-
in 2019, so before that.
Well, they hand out all the paperwork for everything.
Yeah, I just wanted to
So,
know if anybody had any
In
questions.
detail, explain what that is.
So we had to negotiate with 4 property owners for land acquisition for the footprint of the roundabout, because it needed additional property. Total is going to be about 3.2 acres, just a little under 3.3 acres total between the 4 corners is what we acquired. And then there's also going to be some temporary easements that we need for project work while the project is going on. So
Do you have, are you gonna be able to still get the, traffic around it while you're working on it?
no, it's full closure. of
Full
this inter-
closure?
Yeah, full closure of
Okay.
this intersection. Yep.
Other questions by the commission for our highway superintendent?
Terry, can you remind us, is this a 1-lane or a 2-lane roundabout?
It will be a single lane roundabout, very similar in size to the one that we have on Louise Avenue. One difference with this one is northbound right turn. So anybody coming out of Lenox and going east on the Klondike Road, we will have a designated bypass turn lane for that lane, and then they will be able to merge back over into 116.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You get a lot of folks who they kind of go over the side of the road, don't they? They're
Yeah.
kind of driving in the ditch, and you can kind of see that happen up there in Louise, can't you?
Yeah, and I think, I think on all the documents, there should be a plan sheet attached to them that shows, I think that it'll show that on there, to show the roundabout, and then where their land is, but you'll see the one lane has a bypass lane on it, so, yeah.
Other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Any public input on the agenda item? If not, could I get a motion to approve, please?
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, Alicia, will you call the roll? Yes.
Sorry. This is a motion to authorize the chair to execute a right-of-way acquisitions and temporary easements for the roundabout project. Commissioner Putnam.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Otten.
Yes.
Aaron's.
Yes.
Landine.
Yes,
That was
motion
simple.
carries.
Thank you.
Next item, motion to approve and authorize the chair to execute the joint agreement for combined elections.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Sherry Lund, Lincoln County Auditor. This is the last agreement that we have for the combined elections. This will be with the Sioux Falls School District. I'm just looking for approval to authorize the chair to execute the joint agreements for the combined election with Sioux Falls School District.
All right, does any commissioner have a question for our auditor? All right, is there any public input on the agenda item? If not,
Madam Chair, I move for approval.
thank you.
Second, Otten.
Got a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, Alicia, will you call the roll?
This is a motion to approve and authorize the chair to execute the joint agreements for combined elections. Commissioner Putnam.
Is that the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Commissioner Putnam.
They were still talking, so, I don't know, maybe they're over now.
Commissioner Putnam.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Otten.
Yes.
Aaron's. Landine.
Yes, motion carries. Next, we have a motion, consider a motion to complete cash transfers.
This second request is a motion to approve the budgeted cash transfers as follow. To 911 Communications, $565,850. To Emergency and Disaster, $149,345. To 24/7 Sobriety, $18,638. The total that I'm taking from the general fund is actually incorrect. It's $733,833. The second part of this request is a motion to approve a cash transfer from the debt service for the courthouse in $135,098.20 to the Justice Center. The reason for the second request is we had excess funds that was in the debt service, and we can, as a commission, you have the authority to move the funds to another. So I thought the Justice Center would be the best one to offset it for maybe future pay downs on the debt.
All right, anybody have questions for Sherry?
Sherry, do you know, and I see the sheriff here too, was there, maybe Paul knows, I don't know. Was there going to be any more financial assistance provided by the state for this 24/7 program?
Well, not with what we've got in this budget period. So this is what you guys budgeted for the cash transfer. So if there was additional funds coming in, we would do an automatic supplement for it.
Okay.
I think they're still working through that, though. It's been decided? Did you want to?
I got it. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you. That was just one outlying question I had out there, so.
Other questions for our auditor? If not, can I get a motion to complete
Public
the
comment.
Oh, yep, public comment on the cash transfers. Thanks for catching that. All right, if there's no public comment, can I get a motion to complete the cash transfers?
Otten.
Got a motion from Commissioner Otten, a second from Commissioner Aaron's. If there's no further discussion, Alicia, will you call the roll?
This is a motion to complete cash transfers as stated. Commissioner Putnam.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Otten.
Yes.
Aaron's.
Yes.
Landine.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Sherry. Next, we have your,
We have to do the second part, which is the cash transfer from the
For the Justice Center.
interest.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yep, okay. Can I get a motion to that effect?
so moved.
All right, and then is there a second?
Second, Otten.
All right, I've got a motion and a second to approve the cash transfer of the funds, the Justice Center and the debt service for the courthouse. If there's,
Sorry.
if there's no further discussion, Alicia, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Putnam.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Otten.
Yes.
Aaron's.
Yes.
Landine.
Yes, motion carries. All right. Next, we'll move on to your presentation.
Ta-da. All right, so today I'm going to provide an operational overview of the Auditor's Office, recap of 2025 accomplishments, outline our 2026 priorities, and discuss our outlook for 2027. The goal of this presentation is to clearly demonstrate how the Auditor's Office supports the Commission through statutory compliance, physical oversight, and election administration. There are 6 positions in the Auditor's Office: the Auditor, Finance Manager Michelle Burkhart, the Election Coordinator Kayla Delphs, Commission Recorder Alicia Cafaro, Payroll Specialist and Accounts Payable Clerk Bethany Bowden, Lien Specialist Maureen Stambaugh. These folks are the people behind the curtain. They are truly what makes everything happen, and I do appreciate all the work that they do. The Auditor's Office serves as the Clerk of the County Commission and the Clerk of Board of Equalizations. We are responsible for calculating tax levies for all taxing entities within the county and ensuring accurate apportionment of taxes once collected. Our office audits claims, prepares warrants for disbursement, and ensures expenditures align with approved budgets and statutory authority. We also prepare and publish the county's annual physical report and maintain compliance with South Dakota statutory requirements. In addition to statutory duties, we manage core financial operations. This includes payroll processing, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and preparation of monthly financial reports for department and commission review. We monitor budget activity throughout the year to ensure fiscal compliance. We also track and report grant activity and maintain the county's capital asset inventory to ensure accurate reporting and accountability. The auditor serves as the county election supervisor. This includes appointing and training poll workers, ordering and tabulating ballots, preparing for official canvass, assisting with recounts or post-election audits. We also maintain voter registration records and serve as the election resource for municipalities, schools, townships, and road districts. Election integrity, accuracy, and statutory compliance remain our top priorities. In 2025, we worked closely with the Budget Committee to provide clearer structured guidelines for the budget process. We implemented budget transparency software for improving reporting visibility for department accountability. The program is called ClearGov, and you will see how this works with the presentation scheduled on May 26th and June 24th. We also implemented accounts payable automation and invoice capture, improving processing efficiency, strengthening internal controls. Additionally, we coordinated with cities, schools to prepare for combined election, improving collaboration and resource efficiency. This slide represents operational scale of the auditor's office. Each year, we administer the full county budget, process a high volume of claims, manage payroll and county employees, and conduct required elections. 2025 did not have an election, but we did have to work on implementation of legislative actions. During election years, we recruit and train numerous poll workers and ensure smooth election administration. These figures demonstrate both the workload and the level of responsibility entrusted in this office. In 2026, we will continue to refining the budget process with the Budget Committee to improve clarity and long-term planning. We will also review county fee structures to ensure alignment with cost and statutory authority. The primary and general elections will be conducted as combined elections requiring additional coordination and preparation, and we will continue leveraging automation and internal controls to enhance compliance and operational efficiencies. The 2027 outlook, looking ahead to 2027, I do not anticipate the need for additional staffing. Our goal is to maintain operational efficiency with current personnel levels, And we will maximize software systems already implemented and continue to strengthen transparency and reporting practices. The focus remains on fiscal responsibility, compliance, and steady operational performance. As with any county office, there are operational risks. These include changes in election law, reporting deadlines, and budget compliance requirements, and technology security considerations. We mitigate these risks through training, internal controls, regular reconciliations, oversight procedures, and ongoing coordination with state agencies. Our approach is proactive rather than reactive. In closing, the auditor's office remains committed to accuracy in financial reporting, transparency in operations, compliance with statutory requirements, fiscal responsibility, and to service both the commission and the taxpayers of Lincoln County. Any questions?
Any commissioners have questions for Sherry?
I do. On the tabulator, is the company that services the tabulator, are they going to be here?
They are. They're coming in within the next week to do the service on the machine.
Are they?
They are.
Is there any way we could speak to them?
I mean, the tech that comes in, what do you want to speak to them about? I mean, if
Just
you
ask
have a
him how
question.
things are and what, about the machine and everything.
I don't know that the tech would be the person that you would want to talk to about it. If you want, I can talk to ES&S and see if they would like to meet with you regarding it.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
If you want to give
Yeah.
me a list of questions, I could send it to him, or I can have Jared contact you.
Yeah, just have them contact me.
Okay,
That'd be fine.
okay.
Either that or they come in front of the board, that'd be fine too, either way.
All right, other questions for Sherry?
Sherry, good morning. Thank you for being here, appreciate it. And thank you for what you're doing. With this new change in the law to make the CVRs, the cast vote records, public, have you all given any thought to how that's going to work yet, or not?
Of course.
Okay,
We don't wait till the last minute to make a decision.
yeah,
Yeah, we're going to have to probably go through every ballot and redact them, so it's going to take us quite a while to redact all voted ballots.
okay. So those CVR statistics, I've seen other counties from other states who have just put the Excel spreadsheet online. Is your thinking that you're going to be able to do that here after the primary, or?
Once
You
I get
have
all
to wait
the,
till-
once I get all the ballots redacted, that's probably going to be the thing, because they don't do a public record request for it if we redact everything on there. That would kind of be my thought.
Okay, all right. Thank you, appreciate it.
And then you'll also, just a separate note, I did put attachment on here with the election dates on there, things that are coming up. So we did the candidate drawing order yesterday, and absentee voting will hopefully start on April 17th.
All right, other questions? All right, thank you, Sherry. Morning.
Good morning. Franny Hofer, Lincoln County Treasurer. So I am just going to give you an update on our department. So my department, we handle all the tax collections for the county, includes all the real estate, all the special assessments that can be put on by other entities in the county, along with all of the mobile home. We handle all the senior citizen and disabled applications. And we help fill out, if anyone has any questions, we help them fill out those forms. We also handle all the titles and licensings for any new or used boats, vehicles, trailers, motorcycles, snowmobiles, ATVs. We also handle the lien notations, releases, duplicate motor V applications. So, in review, in 2025, we took over 26,000 phone calls. We processed over 20,000 pieces of mail. We reviewed and determined eligibility for 273 elderly freeze and disabled applications. Here is a list of the interest on investments that we have gotten throughout the past 3 years and then what we have received currently. for 2026. Before I begin, I just want to say first and foremost, I really need to thank my staff. They do an excellent job doing everything in the office, especially handling and navigating the new Motor V system that we got in February of 2025. It has been definitely a learning process for all of us, and they have been great working through that, figuring out issues that have come along. So through March of 2026, we have processed over 4,000 pieces of mail, answered over 6,000 phone calls so far. Navigating this new 605 drive system has been a lot of learning and still continual learning as they do updates every couple of weeks to the system. They are trying to digitalize the system even more. We will be starting scanning all of the paperwork that we receive. I'm not sure when. They had talked about October of last year. It has not started yet. We will also be introducing electronic titling starting in July, so hopefully we will learn more about that at our spring workshop in May. Due to the new system, we have had an increase in customers in the office. I know the kiosks have been down a lot more with the new system, so we have been handling a lot more customers in office. We have also had a huge increase in the elderly and disabled phrase applications this year. The state did implement a new income guideline, and with us also sending out a little pamphlet with all of the tax statements, giving people, citizens in the county, all the exemption options that they have. Our increase so far this year is about 81%. We did 273 applications last year. This year we have 495. So looking forward to next year, we will be learning how to do the electronic titling. Hopefully the state will have a good setup on that, so we can kind of figure out how that will be working and doing the scanning process. So hopefully people in the state will be able to get their titles faster and all of their specialty applications that they do. Any questions for me?
Commissioners have any questions?
I do. How is your 605 doing?
We still have issues that they are still working on. I know state right now, I believe, is still working on titles from November. If it is a South Dakota title, it is getting done quicker when you do a transfer. They have set up a feature so the customer can go on to my605drive.sd.eus and they can apply for an expedited title, so that helps, but it is taking 4 to 5 months still to get titles. We do have issues. It seems like when updates happen, some stuff breaks. They work on getting it fixed as soon as possible, but it is a work in progress still.
Well, we had a lady and her husband come before the commission on, and I'm assuming she hit your office several times. Was the 605 part of the problem?
No.
Okay.
So that issue is because state requires a form proving that they paid tax out of state when they bring a title over. Obviously, they didn't have that form since they bought that vehicle 20-plus years ago. I had helped them. I've talked to them 3 times before that. I know they had been in and talked to 2 of my other people. We had given them all the information they needed. It sounds like after they came in and talked to you, everything has been resolved with state, and they were able to
That's my
renew
understanding
everything
too.
they
So-
needed.
And I wanted to
Yes.
thank Commissioner Schmidt for
Yes.
that too. Thank you.
Yep.
Franny, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for everything you're doing. When we get these new electronic titles,
Yes.
does that mean we go away from like the fancy ones we get now and you just get a piece of paper and?
I am not exactly sure. We have been told that they start in July of '26. That is all we have been told. We have not heard anything. It sounds like it will be held electronically. From what I understand is no one would actually get a title unless you are selling that vehicle, trading it in, or I think like if someone maybe passes away and it's getting inherited and you need that to transfer the ownership. But that is what I have heard so far. I have not gotten a lot of details from state on that, so I'm hoping spring workshop next month will be enlightening for that.
Yeah, more to follow, right?
Yes.
I think there's some anxiety amongst the public about this.
Yes, yes.
And hopefully we just get more information so everybody can understand how it works.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Yep.
All right,
Cal-
any other questions?
I have, in California, they had pink slips. They didn't have titles. Is that something that maybe they're talking about doing, is just giving you a little piece of paper that says, yes, you do own the car, or registration, and that's it?
I have not heard any of that yet. It
Okay.
sounds like to me it will be in the system so we can see that it is an electronic title, but again, we haven't really gotten any information from state on how the process will be working once we transition over.
All right, other questions?
All right,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Franny. Yep, any public input on either the auditor or treasurer's presentations?
Scott Montgomery, Fairview, South Dakota. I just hope that if they get this electronic thing going and I want to sell my car, I don't have to wait 6 months to sell it. So, new and improved is not new and improved.
It has been a joke.
Any other public input on those two presentations? All right, if not, we'll move on to human resources. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carrie Elling, Director of Human Resources, here to just walk you through what the last year has been like and what we have planned for next year and the rest of this year, of course. So just a little bit of a review of how our vision is for human resources. We look at ourselves as a strategic partner to the county, responsible for aligning people, structure, strategies, support the county's goals, and ensure we can effectively serve our community. Partner and resource for confident and consistent leadership, providing tools, support so managers can lead with clarity, treat employees with respect, and address performance and fairness and accountability. And then a champion for the employee experience, and hopefully I'll be able to share a little of what that looks like throughout this presentation. Really focused on hiring, retention, getting top talent, and being able to keep them. 2025, just a few metrics. We had 32 new hires in 2025. We had 1,210 applicants for approximately 38 postings. Employee retention, we had a slight downgrade in turnover, so turnover was up slightly from 15% to 15.7%, and we have 12 more employees than we did the year before. What occurred in 2025, we did a COLA increase of 2.5%. The health insurance increased to 7%. We did an overhaul of the employee evaluation process. We brought a committee together and we worked hard on making the questions a little bit more relatable to the job as opposed to the generic questions that came with ADP. Spent a good deal of time overhauling that process, both for the employees as well as our department heads. We added an employee retention strategy. So what that looks like is we did an employee experience survey. So we surveyed the entire employee set, and we're going to continue to do that on a regular basis to hear what their pains are, what the things they like about working for us are. We have a lot of work to do here. Our Net Promoter Score, the Net Promoter Score is the score you give as to how likely you are to recommend Lincoln County as a great place to work versus to your friends and friends and family. Our score was a -29, so that means we've got some work to do in that area. That means we had more detractors than promoters, and a lot of passive. So more work to come there. We did get some really good feedback. People gave a lot of good comments, and we've been working on that throughout the year. We've incorporated state interviews. The department heads have mostly participated in the state interviews as well as gone through training to do that with their staff. We have an employee Dropbox where people are providing feedback throughout the year that is not just tied to the employee experience survey, and we get feedback in that pretty consistently. I can't reiterate enough, it is confidential. I don't know how many times I hear people say, I'm afraid to fill out that survey, I'm afraid to put something in the Dropbox. I have no way of knowing who it comes from, so just putting that extra plug in there. And then we've, of course, done some cultural events. We did some gathering for the food pantry, which Commissioner Otten was very involved in as well. We had our very successful summer event in the park, and we've had a few potlucks. Get people out of their boxes and down and being social and getting to know their coworkers. In addition to that, we've done some leadership development training, and we'd like to expand that not just to our department heads, but the other leaders within departments. We did the Women at Work. We brought in Vera to do communication in team performance. And then I received my certified professional and training management certification, so I can bring more of those types of trainings myself as well, which of course saves us money. All right. Expectations for 2026. Of course, we've kicked off the salary study. That is in progress. I know everybody's really eager to hear where that is at. All of the data gathering has occurred. It is with a data analyst right now. Our vendor, McGrath, expects to have the analytics from that on April 17th, which is coming up really quickly. She has promised to turn that around as quickly as possible, starting with the unions, because of course we're in a union contract negotiation year, and so she's going to start with them and then get us the rest as quickly as possible after that. We've already hosted a couple of leadership training sessions with, of course, a full year schedule. We did the stay interviews, which I've already mentioned, and we did an engaging lunch and learn on emotional intelligence. Remainder, of course, the salary study. We expect some adjustments to come with that. Continued growth is expected in several departments. We're really looking hard at how can we develop leaders, give people some place to go while they're in the county working towards something like a mid-level management role. Some of those larger departments need a little bit more of that. We are the leanest county, well, the third leanest county in South Dakota. We support one employee for every 504 citizens, so that's something to be proud of. Our accomplishments of how hard we work in comparison to the people that we support, in comparison to other counties in South Dakota. And like, we're third from the bottom, but the two below us have 14 and 9 employees. So we have a lot more employees, but serving a lot more people. And then we're going to continue to have leader and employee engagement training. And then we're in search for benefits broker because there's been a big shakeup at Brown & Brown. So we've got a committee we're pulling together to find the right broker to serve us going forward. In addition to that, we're looking at what we can do different with our wellness program to have ongoing engagement throughout the year instead of a cram at the end to meet your criteria and get your payout for the whole next year. We're looking at doing something where we have things happen more quarterly. We have people can participate in one quarter versus the next. And again, then we won't have this situation where we hire somebody in September and they get the same payout for the next year that somebody who's been here for the full year gets. So we're looking at doing things differently. I've been working very close with our wellness partners for that. Other strategic planning things that we're working on. One of the pieces of feedback I got in our inbox that is, again, anonymous, is that people would really like the opportunity to speak with HR and be able to have a confidential conversation and have it be a little bit less formal. And they would like that door to be a little bit more open, and we certainly want to make that available to them. We have a couple other leadership things in the works. And then the SHRM conference, my focus and my track that I'm planning for that conference is on change leadership, retention strategy, culture engagement, and then employee mental health support. And then what we anticipate for 2027, we anticipate about a 13 to 15% increase in insurance. We really don't know what that looks like for sure yet, but that's based on analysis that's out there and available to us today. Again, we're in a broker search, so they're going to help us paint a clearer picture for that, but that's my estimate here. Identifying the new broker, the revamp of the wellness program, what we'd like to ask for in order to be successful for 2027 is to move those payments up. So right now we pay a year later after the whole year has gone by, we start paying them for the work that they did. We would like to move that up in 2027 so that we pay out quarterly, so that if you participate in one quarter, you get paid that quarter, and then if you didn't participate, you would then have the opportunity to participate in the next quarter and get paid accordingly for that. And that also will help save us money in the long term, so that if we hire somebody in September or October, they of course didn't get paid for the full year, they get paid once they start. And then I would like to send staff to the SHRM Talent Conference, just to stay on top of trends in hiring, because as we continue to expand and as AI comes into play in the hiring world, there are tools and efficiencies out there that with 1,200 applicants, a year, we really need some better ways to do things there. We continue to expect to be run lean for next year and not anticipating adding new staff. And then our recommendation for a cost of living increase for next year, we expect to be around the 3% range. We're currently at 2.4 for CPI, but projections are to be around that 2.8 to 3.5 range. And that's what I've got for you.
All right, thank you,
Questions?
Carrie. Carrie, yep, I have a question.
Yeah.
On the pay study, did the folks that are doing that for the county, did they meet with all the department
I
heads
did. Every
individually?
single department head met with and gave an overview of their department, their job descriptions, and talked through it. Yeah, individually by department, they met with McGrath. Yep. for
Were there
sure.
talks about reorganizing, doing any reorganization within the departments that would play into the pay study?
There wasn't a whole lot of that. I mean, just a few that we, had already kind of known, but not a lot of that, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
good
you.
question, though.
That's all I have, thanks.
Okay, any other
I
questions?
just cannot believe the things that you've done since you've been hired. You're very visible inside the courthouse and in departments. And just taking a look at what needs to be changed to be better, especially this wellness program. I like how you're doing that, so great
Appreciate it.
job.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thanks. Any other commissioners have
Gary,
questions for
you
Carrie?
mentioned the one critical question was, our staff, could they recommend a place to work?
Yep.
That is certainly something that we shouldn't be proud of right now. We should try to turn that around.
Absolutely.
So everybody can say this is a wonderful place to work. So
Absolutely.
I think you've got some good ideas on how to address that situation.
I appreciate it, thank you.
All right, other questions for Carrie? All right,
Thank you.
if not, any public input on the presentation? All right, before Carla gets going, I need a quick 5-minute recess if I could to speak with legal. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Carla, you can get set up though. Thanks. For
How much does
Carla,
that cost to print them out?
Carla, go ahead with your presentation. I'm gonna call order in the commission room. Please have a seat or remove yourself.
You talking to me?
I am.
Good morning, Madam Chair,
You got
County
other people
Commissioners.
standing up and you're talking to me. What a rip. But that's all right.
Good morning,
Carla
Carla.
Boson, Director of Equalization. Much like the ones before me, the department head presentation, I did blend it with my statutory requirement to meet with the commissioners, and according to South Dakota Codified Law 10-3-14, for sake of time saving and such, I blended it in with the department head presentation. So, like other presentations before me, what is the Equalization Department? That's what we'll be going through, 25-year in review, expectations for 26, and looking forward to 27. But first, we need to start with staff. Staff make up everything that we do in the equalization office. So I wanted to start off by recognizing staff. We have a new deputy director, Donna Eckley, 10 certified appraisers, 2 of which stay in the office doing plats and splits and valuations. We have 1 quality control specialist in the office, making sure everything's, equal and fair and standardized within the office. We have 8 appraisers that go out in the field nearly every single day, whether it's reviewing appeals or reappraisal projects and building permits, property transfers that do our clerical work, answer the phones, do the mailings,
We have property transfers we'll discuss, and we have one part-time clerk. So in our fleet of vehicles, we have currently 7 vehicles. One is in play. We'll have an 8th vehicle soon. That was budgeted for in '25 for the '26 year. That has been ordered and should be here within the next couple of weeks. Our fleet hosts many different reasons that we have vehicles. Other departments use our vehicles, state's attorney's office, other department heads. Just wanted to build a fleet for the county and for assessment purposes. So details of the department, what do we do? Well, we assess property, about 33,000 parcels, and counting. So every time there's a plat or a split, we do those types of property transfers in our office. We look at 3 approaches to value. We have a cost approach to value, which is most utilized in mass appraisal. Mass appraisal is a universe of properties that we must appraise. It starts off with a replacement cost new minus any depreciation, and then add back in our land value. So South Dakota, in law and rules, we have 2 costing manuals that assessors can use statewide. There is a Vanguard Valuation Service, which is out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We also have a Marshall Swift Valuation Service, which is out of California. It's also known as CoreLogic, I think, today, but we still refer to it as Marshall and Swift. So we have 2 valuation services that, using the cost approach. Lincoln County and about half of the other state use the Vanguard Cost Manual. So we also have a sales comparison approach. That's using recent sales of similar properties, and we make adjustments for those, and that's essentially the market approach. The income approach is properties, we look at the property's earning capacity minus any expenses and vacancies, then capitalize that by using a discount rate, which is essentially their mortgage rate. The recapture rate, which is the life and expectancy of a building, and then the effective tax rate. We review and make recommendations on appeals. We'll talk a little bit more about appeals in the upcoming slide. We prepare the abstract for the auditor so they can calculate the tax levies. We process all property transfers, plats, annexations. We create and review all taxing districts. Our GIS department has been essential in creating a taxing district map so they can look to see, or I can look to see, to make sure that that property has the correct taxing district. So that has been something that we put in place a few years ago, and we're still being utilized today. So we maintain and track all tax relief and assessment exemption programs, the elderly freeze, the veterans exemptions, paraplegic, owner-occupied. Let's see. So a recap of 2025, what do we do? Well, we look at building permits, appeals, property transfers, plats, parcels, the recap of property tax relief programs, and then our reappraisal. Currently, today, as it speaks, our appeals are at historical lows, which could mean that lower taxes could essentially mean lower appeals. People really appeal their tax amounts, not necessarily their assessments. Countywide, we looked at assessment increases between 1% and 3%. We tried to stay in line with Senate Bill 216 from 2025, now referred as South Dakota Codified Law 10-6-158. So I believe that was a major influencing factor on the number of appeals that we're hearing this year. It's definitely decreased by half. And the year before that, it increased by, 45% from 2024. So we have seen a huge decrease in property appeals, which we'll talk
little more about that in my next segment. Want to talk about building permits. So we get building permits from all municipalities in the county zoning office. In total, it looks like our building permits are down by about 5%. Our total tracking of permits has increased, and what the difference between the amount that we inspect and the amount that we track are those new windows that are put in, new roof. We don't go out and chase that building permit, new windows, new siding. Those are all maintenance type issues that don't increase value. Where we do track those and start going out and reviewing them is when they hit, I have a new roof, I have new siding, I have new windows. Well, there's probably some condition factors that we have applied in our assessment, maybe below normal condition. With those maintenance have now increased that condition to maybe of a normal. So an assessor would go out once we hit 2 or 3 of those secondary tracking building permits. Again, the roofs, the siding, and the windows. Again, slightly decreased from 2024, but the total tracking of our permits have increased. Property transfers, so those all are our sales of properties that take place. It's also our estate sales, our deed splits, anything that changes ownership is through a property transferred, filed at the Register of Deeds, and once it's been filed in the Register of Deeds, they create what's called a T55 form, along with the certificate of real estate value that gets sent up to our office, and then we make all the name changes, so the right taxpayer receives the correct tax bill. New parcels created in 2025 was 743. That's down 12% from the year before. 2022 and 2023 were exceptionally large property transfers, or property parcel splits and plats. I believe the 2025 is back to normal. There was an article just the other day in the Dakota Scout about the amount of population growth and its easing in the Sioux Falls area, and I believe that these numbers at 743 are back to normal numbers. I had looked at some previous emails where counties like, how many parcels are you creating in a year? I looked back in 2017 and 2018, and those were in the 600 to 700 new parcels created. So again, I believe our 2025 number is kind of a back to normal number, and I'm not concerned about the 12% decrease. It only says our 22 and 23 numbers were exceptionally high. So what did we accomplish in 2025? Well, we had a very large uptick on our 2025 property tax relief programs. That was up about 14% from 2024. So our veterans exemptions from 2024 to 2025 increased about 18%, and our elderly and disabled increased 5.5%. Now that's 24 versus 25. You can see later in the bold and the gray bolded, our 26 relief program estimates increased over 51%. Now, this was based on what Franny gave me Friday morning prior to this. She was still waiting for all of her mailings that came in, so I know that number has increased. I can tell you the amount qualified in these programs, 25 versus 26. So our veterans have increased 23%. So we had 96 new applications. That's huge. That's a huge number. I mean, we continually see an uptick on qualifying veterans.
Also want to give a shout out to Franny in adding that property tax relief program in her tax bill in 2026. Our assessment notice, we are required to list those exemptions as well. She put a beautiful colored pamphlet with her tax relief programs. I think it was eye-catching, and I can see where that has grown interest and helped increase the amount of property owners applying for these programs. So the elderly freeze 2025 qualifying. We had 210. This year, again, as of Friday morning, 401. So we have nearly doubled, 91% of the qualifying applicants of the elderly and disabled. I'm sure we're over 100% as of the mailings today. So paraplegic vet, we have 3. We have 3 in the county that are paraplegic veterans. So again, other things that we've done, we've updated our reappraisal letter. So we have been using a standardized reappraisal letter since 2015. We updated that letter, made it a little maybe more softer, so to speak, more easier to read. We got originally some pushback from our original reappraisal letter, so we hear those concerns, and we appreciate any comments, and we updated our reappraisal letter for 2025. We had first year remote checkout. What that is our assessors have handheld devices. They can do everything remotely. They can take pictures, they have live information, bringing out into the field from the office. Our Beacon Essential Package, we have increased our what people can see for free on the Beacon. It's called an Essential Package. What is currently online for free, it shows the year built of the property, the structures. We have the percent changes on the assessment side and the tax side in Beacon, so people can see from one year to the other what percentage change that is. The sales, so it's a live sales database, so anything that gets put in a sales transfer today gets updated overnight, and you can see that sale tomorrow. So that is a new Beacon Essential Package that we are offering for our public. We started the reappraisal in T and Delapre. We did not complete it for the 2026 assessment year. As we go on, you can see in what you heard last year in those areas increased by 40%. Well, my staff hasn't increased by 40%. So it was a larger goal than I thought it was. I thought we would be able to complete it. We didn't. We got all of Delapre completed, residential, commercial, agricultural. In T, we were able to complete all of the residential. We just we were not able to complete the T commercial part of it. So we'll start in T and finish that up this year, and then head into Springdale Township. Expectations for 2026. We'll finalize again the Delapre Township in T, City of T. So there was approximately 4,200 parcels to review and inspect. It was a 40% increase again from 2015. So it's hard not to complete it. It was a goal to get it done. It's hard not to get that completed, and it's hard for me to stand in front of you and say, we just didn't get it done. We were so very close, but we wanted to make sure that, everything is perfect or as near perfect as possible. This second round of reappraisal was about dialing it in and understanding our software and understanding the territory, and it just breaks me a little bit that we weren't able to get it done. But with that being said, it was so much bigger than it was in 2015. We all know how much T and Delapre has grown. And it showed, it definitely showed. So we'll finalize our Delapre and T. We'll start Springdale, which again is a 24% increase in what it was in 2016, but I'm very confident. Typically in 2016, we did Springdale and Harrisburg together without, Harrisburg just increased by, I think it was 47%. From 2016. So there was no way we were going to start it without being able to finish it. So that'll be part of our 2027 reappraisal, but we will be able to finish Springdale. That's a more achievable goal for our office and staff. We'll continue to and perfect utilize the remote software and technology for the assessors. I think year 2, they'll have a better grip on that technology. It was the first year last year. We're going to do more on-site training. We have 2 new appraisers in our office currently. We have a couple new clerical staff, so we're going to just really dial in on on-site training opportunities for staff. We're going to work with Human Resources on developing a succession plan. The Director of Equalization in Pennington County is done in June. I've worked with him for many, many years, and, he's like, Carly, you need to get a succession plan going if you are considering, retirement, which it's always in my radar. So I'm going to work with Human Resource to try to come up with a succession plan, and that will help the commission and our office. Looking forward to 2027. Again, more training opportunities for staff. Last year, we invited a vendor to come in, and they did some training for our staff, but we also opened the door to other counties. And we had a workshop, and it was charged. So that training opportunity that we were going to do anyway by inviting other counties in helped pay for that training. So we want to do more of that type of training, not just for our assessors or our staff, but for other counties as well, especially in the general vicinity. I want to look at technology enhancement. Currently, our CAMA system is so slow. And when I say slow, I mean every parcel, every time you hit the next button, it just scrolls. So Jake has been aware of it. He's been with our vendors trying to figure out why this is happening. We continue to do double entry. So you got 33,000 parcels. Well, it just went to 66,000 parcels because everything we do twice, if not 3 times. So we just have to figure that out. CAMA doesn't have the ability to do the entire, the tax software that we have. So that's why we start the valuation in CAMA, and that's our Vanguard, and then we manual enter it in code as well. One of the lacking that CAMA does not have that we need in order to make it a one-stop shop is an exemption module. Jake, again, has been, tremendous at just pushing that need to our software vendors. Like, you need to. It's required. It's a state requirement. We've shot, codify laws at them, and it's just, and we've looked at other vendors. We had a vendor come in and do a demo, and it's very expensive. It's in the, towards the $500,000. We've already invested so much in CAMA. It's like if we can just get a little bit of a push to get that exemption module with CAMA. Continue the reappraisal, hitting that one pretty hard. right now, I'm not asking for any cars or staff for 2027, but you can see from the numbers and what it's grown, we really have to start addressing spacing and staffing needs in our office. We are literally on top of each other. We have one of the smallest spaces in the courthouse with probably with the most people. We really have to address the spacing needs in the equalization office. I started with the staff and I'm going to end with the staff. So in the equalization office is built on experience, modernization, and commitment to public service. Our staff brings an average of 9 years of experience with 5 full-time employees serving more than a decade in the office. The depth of knowledge ensures consistency, accuracy, and strong institutional understanding. We have embraced innovation with the help of others, mind you. The auditor, the treasurer, the register of deeds, our IT department. You heard Sherry spoke earlier this morning about all the innovation in her office. We couldn't do that unless we work together and we work with our IT department. The equalization has played a major role in developing and maintaining one of the most comprehensive online information portals in South Dakota, and I believe that. We have online appeals. No other county in the state has online appeals. We let them push a button to have an appeal be placed on the books for whatever year we're in. We have forms, online forms. They can submit it electronically. They can, again, fill out their form, submit it, it gets to our office immediately. Public documents, all kinds of informational documents, a tax estimator, a tax distribution information, and more. I mean, there's so much more that we are offering that for free, mind you. A lot of this stuff is for free, and I hope I'm given the opportunity to log into Beacon so you guys can see what is available for the public. I do believe we have the best online property information portal in the state. We have not only met expectations, we have modeled the expectations, especially when we get to our legislative bodies and what we're hearing in peer. They all want this, this information out there. We are putting it out there and have for quite a number of years. We're open, transparent government that is accessible and responsive to the public. Again, we're listening to the needs of the public, and a lot of those needs are not face-to-face needs. They're through email. And we look at every single one of them. We are very proud of the work that we do. We work with every office in the county. We work with government agencies, and we serve the public. And I cannot stress that enough, what I tell my staff. We are here to serve the public. We are public servants. And the standard we continue to set, I believe, is exceptional. With that, I'll stand by for any questions.
Anybody have questions for Carla?
I do. Planning and zoning has been looking at adding building eligibilities for families to come back on property. What will that do to surrounding tax burden? Do you know, or any idea?
I mean, I have been in contact with a property owner that had a similar question. I've visited with Toby in regards to the opportunity to move eligibilities throughout the county. It's hard to determine what it will do at first. I don't know if it will. I think short term, you could see a change in value short term. And the reason why I say that is if somebody starts purchasing properties for, let's say $10,000 an acre, and there's no building eligibility. And then they purchase a building eligibility and then they build on it. We don't really see the impact of what that true value is until it sells. So short-term, you could see evaluation maybe decline, maybe. But it would soon catch up when things start selling, because if we assess it for $10,000 and they build a $200,000 house on it, and the sale comes in at $500,000, well, we're gonna have to jack up something, whether it be the land or the structure. So that will soon catch up to one another. But you might see a slight decrease in value at the very beginning of this, but it would definitely catch up.
And I know that you also have a very conservative staff. Why would you not be looking at adding staff this year for next year? At least,
I just don't have space.
Oh, okay.
There's just nowhere to put another body.
Okay.
You've come into our office, during many times of the year, whether it be when tax notices get sent out, when assessment notices get sent out, when we start a reappraisal project. I mean, we are like like a call center. I mean, there's multiple people on phones. I mean, I don't track phone calls. I don't track our mailings. Maybe I should. I mean, maybe that would be a good indicator, but I can tell you the phones ring a lot. We get a lot of mail, and it is like a call center in our office many times a year, and, just bumping into each other. There's one way in, one way out. There's two doors, but, if you gotta keep them going in the right direction, otherwise we're running into each other. I get concerned about the amount of personal, confidential information that we are requesting of our taxpayers, and we're doing it out in the open, and it just is, it's concerning. Even phone calls, when you got 2 or 3 people on the phone and we're not 6 feet apart. I mean, I don't know how big our sectionals, they're very small. Actually, I think on the 2021 specs, when we were looking at spacing needs, we had the smallest desk in the entire courthouse. And I did hear from, a couple people that, well, that's what you ordered. And I said, yes, it is what I ordered, but that's because of the space that we had. So we had to go small to get people in a section. So it's not ideal. If you've ever come into our office, you'll see, we've put filing cabinets around people, and there's, long tables, because they just don't have the space that they need to do their jobs. It's, the reason why I'm not asking is because we don't have the space.
Thank you.
Carla, question. So you're doing this double entry. How does that affect your staffing needs if you didn't have to do the double entry?
I don't know. I mean, we've never not.
No, and that's fine if you don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there isn't, and I don't know if you're the person to do it or if it's somebody else, but if you need staff and then you're using staff and they're having to do this double entry, that's adding to the workload. And then if you're out of space, I mean, have you ever thought of, is there, I don't know what we would do to figure out how much space do you actually need? Where are the efficiencies? Because you said there's other software out there that's very expensive, and you said $500,000. Well, if we have to, the space to me is a commission problem, not a you problem. So I think we need to look at what you actually need for staff, what you actually need for space, and where there can be some efficiencies, like in the double entry. Maybe it gets rid of some of that staffing need, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it gets rid of the extra space need, I don't know. But I think that we should look at that, because changing the software, if it's $500,000, it might pale in comparison to building out a different area of the courthouse to add space and walls, like what you're saying and stuff. So I don't know, it's just a thought, but I think maybe if you want to look into that and maybe put something in your budget to try and figure that out, because we're not getting any smaller, so.
Right. Yeah, and double entry is we have crafted it to, we're able to do it with the staff that we need. It's not the double entry that we're gaining, we're gaining parcels and the amount of homes that are being built, and they're projecting another 900 homes in the next 3 to 4 years, and, that's where you need the staff. The entering of it, I get more concerned on the balancing, making sure, because we are putting it into two systems. The balancing, we do very well. We have perfected that as well. It's not so much the double entry and the software where staffing needs comes in. It's, 200 more elderly freeze applications. It's 5 to 900 new homes a year, on top of what we already have.
Right.
That's where the need probably comes into play. But I would be more than happy to come up with, a couple plans. I will come up with a couple plans and see what would best fit for our office.
Thank you.
Yes.
Other questions for Carla?
I have one.
Go ahead.
When the courthouse gets built out west of town there, there'll be courtrooms that'll be empty. Will something like that defice you as far as room-wise?
Possibly. I would, love to hear any ideas that commission or the grounds director have. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the old courthouse, so I don't know what that would look like.
Well, maybe when that thing gets done, maybe we'll have answers then.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carla. Other questions for the commissioners?
Thanks, Carl.
All right, if not, any public input on the presentation?
Good morning, Chair Commission. I guess I am a little confused. From the very beginning of the Justice Center project, one of the aspects of that was opening up and freeing up space in this existing building. I don't understand why we're talking about possibly adding walls and so forth to accommodate a growing department when we're going to have plenty of room opening right here in this building. That has been a part of this project all along, was to not only move the court services and the state's attorney and those staff and departments out to the new Justice Center, but to help alleviate some of the crowding problems here within the building. I'm baffled. I don't understand where this whole, we just spent 20 minutes talking about where is the department going to go? In 6 months, there's going to be room in this building right here. That's part of the issue that needs to be addressed to solve some of these problems. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chad, and it is very simple.
All right, next we have our board schedule. We really only gonna need 2 mornings?
Possibly. Sherry, do we have anything?
I haven't got any emails. I haven't checked my mail.
Okay, so I just want to go over a couple things that I've already addressed, because a lot of the board schedule just does rely on like our appeals, right? And why are we seeing so few appeals this year? I do think it's twofold. Our assessment increases 1 to 3%. Harrisburg School District paid off a couple bonds that decreased taxes. So I'm like, it's gotta be, taxes. Like, people are really appealing their taxes. They're just tired of the high tax bills. Overall, we made adjustments of approximately 1 to 3% throughout the county, with only a few properties increasing by more than 3%, aside from those that had building permits for improvements of the property. The properties that experienced larger adjustments were primary two-story homes with over 4,000 square feet. Those properties increased by more than 3%. There was some, anywhere from 7 to 15% increases on those properties. And then also where appealed values were pulled off from 2025. They're only good for 1 year. So those properties also are experiencing more than 3% because we pulled off the previously appealed values. Most of those are like arbitrary numbers. They were just a number that boards felt was a good value. So those are the ones that outside of the 1 to 3% received a larger increase. We had very few appeals of those particular properties, specifically the two-story homes over 4,000 square feet. You will have on your board schedule many appeals that are the same as last year, the same as the year before that, the same as the year before that. Some property appeals, they've been appealing since I've been here. So those will make up a part of your schedule. Again, Senate Bill 216, Lincoln County stayed within the 3% limitation of that, 2025, Senate Bill 216. I think the countywide reappraisals and the aggressive market increases that we have done throughout the county, throughout the years, played a part of that, where we only having to increase 1 to 3%. Record low appeals, again. So our board schedule looks like this. We start on April 14th. That is a shall meet on April 14th. Did I say March? April 14th. We will start off with our exemptions. They will be, the exemptions were continuous exemptions. So those that had applied last year are a continuation. So it's just just an approval of those that have not changed from 2025. Also our partial exemptions where they have previously been 1% and they're currently 1%. Those exemptions are, nothing has changed, that's just the same. We're placing those on the consent agenda. And then any of those exemptions that may have missed the deadline, we have one. And it was a religious organization that missed the deadline by a few days. I'm placing that on the consent agenda as well, placing it as would have otherwise qualified but missed the deadline. And then part of our consent agenda this year is new. We're placing our stipulations on the consent agenda. Those are stipulations that we have made an agreement with the property owner, and the equalization office agrees based on a review that we have done, an inspection that we have done on their property, where we've changed the value and they are now in agreement with that. So these consent agenda will include our stipulations. Last year, we placed them at every 5 minutes, but this year it's just a motion. With your blessing, if this is how you want them to be done. This is all negotiable because this is your boards of equalization. So if you don't want these stipulations on the consent agenda, we will take them off and we'll block them off every 5 minutes if you wish. We have 4 exemptions that will be heard that are they're not automatic. So you'll hear 4 exemptions, and then we have 1 owner-occupied appeal so far. So Tuesday, April 14th, we're looking at possibly adjourning at about 10:10.
Recessing.
Recessing. Thank you.
I knew what you meant.
So very light. And I did this, We have to meet on the 14th. I did not start appeals on the 14th because we only have 3 board members available. And with that, it has to be a unanimous decision on all 3. So I kept it very minimal for the 14th for that reason.
I was supposed to be in trial, but I'll be here for most of it anyway.
On the 26th, we'll start our appeals, and start at 9 a.m. 21st. We'll start on the 21st, and we'll start at 9 a.m. Right now, we have 16 appeals that will be heard. Today is the deadline. We always have last-minute appeals, so I am very confident we'll probably go into the afternoon of the 21st. With the permission of the board, just continue until we're done on the 21st. Unless you want to reconvene on another day.
That's the plan, I think.
Okay. Our appeals will look something like this. We have a couple different variations. Previously, you had 10 to 18 pages last year, not so much this year. We have condensed it a lot. With the time restraints, 10 minutes, making decisions, reviewing the property, we condensed it into a 5 to 7 page document for you. We will always start off with the subject page, give you an assessment history, just a breakdown of what the property is. Page 2 will show our comparables, what we think is similar to the subject property for various reasons, whether it's the home itself or if it's the land value. We'll show both. This is a new ad for the board this year. On page 3, we'll have the local board information, like the reason why the local board made the decision they did. I decided to add this because there were some local boards that put a lot of thought into their decision-making, and I thought that would help you as well. They know their properties, they drive by those properties, every day. I feel their decision matters. I wanted to share that with you today, or during the hearings. The appellant's requested value and the reason for their requested value will be on page 3. On page 4, we'll have our 3 approaches to value page. We'll show the price per square foot for the house, sometimes for the total property altogether. We'll show the cost approach to value of the comparables. And then the market approach to value with the comparables, and then income approach if necessary, if we have it, and then our assessor recommendation and the reason for the recommendation. And page 5 will be the map of where the subject property is located and the comparables that we used. Sometimes if it's a if they're appealing their land and their value of their home, we'll show kind of land sales on one page and improved sales on the next. So it might be a couple different pages of mapping for you. And then the back page is left for like just additional information. I can think of one appeal that you'll be hearing on the 21st that, there was a complete remodel. We'll show you before and after pictures, and I think that just is just additional information for you to make your decision.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Carla about the schedule? All right, thanks, Carla.
Yes.
And then, Drew, I want to circle back on our meeting. When I had stepped out, that we have a special meeting that's set for tomorrow. Can we do that any earlier, or you had 1 o'clock on it?
12:30, if that works for the commission. We just have to have the.
Is that a
24 hour.
remote?
Yeah, we're having a Zoom link, so commissioners, and because it's held by teleconference, we have to allow the general public to access as well through
Okay.
teleconference purposes.
All right. Does 12:30 work for everybody?
And that's ready to be published, so it'll be within the 24-hour advance notice as well, so.
Okay. I would say if you needed personal and present, I could do noon, but
No, we
just
can
go
do it
with
by
the 12.
teleconference.
Okay, 12:30?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. Next, we have our opportunity for public comment for items not on the agenda. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Linda from Fairview, South Dakota. I have a very simple agenda item. I've been, and I think it does need to be addressed. I've driven past the new Justice Center at night, and it is lit up like a Christmas tree. I think we need to look at what we paid for our electricity before the Justice Center and after. I'm not sure that unless they have people working in the middle of the night, I don't think we need to have a just empty justice system open, fully lighted, that can be seen for a long ways. I was going to take a picture so you could see how it looked, but I'll do that next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Other public input?
Doug McKinney, Canton. I also see that Justice Center lit up 24/7. And so I started following what the warrants in the paper. And since the Justice Center has been put up and lit up, the bill to XL has almost doubled. And I know there's an account for this building and an account for that building. The auditor should be able to tell us which one is which, how much it's costing. But like I say, it's almost doubled from what it was before the Justice Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Other public comment this morning?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Dan Kipley. I'm a candidate for South Dakota Senate District 13, and I just wanted to comment first. I want to thank you again for your public service here in Canton, as far as with Lincoln County. I also wanted to share that 31% of the constituents in Lincoln County are in District 13, and 77% of the constituents that live in District 13 are Lincoln County residents. So District 13 is predominantly Lincoln County. Within that, there is the Harrisburg School District, the Sioux Falls School District, and the City of Sioux Falls, as well as then Lincoln County and Minnehaha County. My goal is to serve those groups and all those constituents. And there's, again, 17,000 of those constituents are Lincoln County constituents. Another 5,000 are Minnehaha County constituents.
All right.
And I really appreciate being able to serve in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Any other public comment for items not on our agenda?
Good morning, Scott Montgomery, Fairview. I guess I'd ask you guys to clear up a little confusion with the public on what's what. I mean, are we got two courthouses now? Do we got a courthouse and a justice center? I mean, come October, when you tell me to go to courthouse, where am I going? Okay? But everything we keep talking about is the courthouse. I mean, those documents on this memorial have listed right on our Lincoln County Courthouse. So it gets kind of confusing for the public here. I mean, I've had a lot of people saying, what's what? And I said, I can't tell you. So it'd be nice if we'd label one and one the other and keep them that way, because it's awfully confusing. I appreciate your help on that. Thank you.
Other public input this morning? All right, if not, then Drew, do we, first we'll do commission reports first, but then we're gonna need an executive, it sounds like. Okay. Any commissioner reports today?
I just have one thing real quick.
Oh, yep, okay, come on up.
I got one.
I do too. I'd just like to mention, call it to the attention, We will be having a joint meeting this month. It will be a trifecta meeting with Minnehaha County and the city of Sioux Falls. Staff is working with staff from Minnehaha and Sioux Falls. We'll have some more details later. Right now, things are planning to be at 5 o'clock there and then back down here at 7:30 for our regular Board of Commissioners meeting. We have at least one hearing scheduled, a planning and zoning item. So you will see, there will be more details to follow next week, but just giving a heads up to the board and the public that this is something that will be happening on the 28th, Tuesday, the 28th. So,
And
thank
you'll
you.
clean those calendar invites up
Yep,
then?
yep, everything will be cleared up, hopefully, like some of the other ones should know more today once the deadline for appeals is done.
All right, thank you. All right, commission reports. Anybody have a report they'd like to make?
Chair, Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
This gal that came forward, she already put her name on the record, but it was Tracy Garrison. And she came in, she talked in the last time we had our meeting, trying to get her vehicle titled, even though it was out of state. And I know that I followed up with her and gave her Commissioner Schmidt's information because she was in his district. And I understand that she's got that pretty well cleaned up as well. So I'll let him finish that. But I also want to update a comment that was made on last commission meeting. It was said again that no public vote was taken on the Justice Center. Well, the commission passed the Justice Center bond on December 9th, 2022. The public had 20 days from publication to collect signatures to refer it. That did not happen, but we kept hearing the same thing about there was no public vote. I actually confronted the person about it outside the courthouse, and the response was, well, I was too busy. Well, just to be clear, I referred 2 opt-outs for public vote before I was elected to the commission and won every precinct in special elections. So I don't want to hear about there wasn't any public vote on the Justice Center ever again because it was available for them to put it on vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Other reports this morning?
Madam Chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
just a comment on the person that was there. We got the director of motor vehicles to get in touch with her, and they straightened everything out. It was a misprint from, on the title, wow, careful it can be. It should have read 2004, Montana put 2024, just a typo, and it was taken care of. I have a brief letter, Madam Chair, from Lutheran Social Services directed, and what they're saying is that I want to take a moment to recognize and thank you for supporting a workplace that encourages community involvement. One of your employees, Mr. Dave Dixon, is making a meaningful difference by mentoring through LSS this year. Each week, he dedicates his time to mentor a student here at Lawrence Elementary and Washington High School as well, positively shaping the future of the kids for the Sioux Empire. So I just wanted to draw out and publicly acknowledge Dave Dixon for his mentoring work. That is something that I would encourage anybody to take a long look at. That's a big push, and you'll never know what a difference you can make. I'm mentoring a young 4th grader, and you don't think it makes a difference. Sometimes those young kids need somebody to talk to. They may be a single-parent family. So if you have a lot of extra time on your hands and you want to make a difference and make yourself feel good, take a mentoring here in Canton or whatever community. But I would certainly encourage that for anybody to participate in. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Other reports this morning?
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay. I want to get on record. You told me to sit down. But 2 others were up. That's quite a deal. Okay. Now, I ask you to repeat it because I didn't hear what you're saying. You didn't do it. Get that on the record. And then sliding in this Veterans Park deal without any knowledge of anybody else, there was no communication. Just poor business, poor chair. That's all it is. And then to finish, Jim, you were there for 20 years and that airport was losing a pile of money. That was your fault. Get it on the record. There it is. Now I have it on the record. Oh, one last thing. I wanted to speak about Sharia law, and oh my God, did that turn out to be a bad deal. Poor old Paul, he was pressured into calling me 4 times, and he was just beside himself. Drew had called me a couple times, and he got taken off the deal. Now, why, you tell me, Madam Chair, why I could not talk about Sharia law. What is Sharia law?
Commissioner, this isn't a question and answer session. It is
I'm
for
asking
commissioner
you a question
reports.
right now.
Are you done with your
Answer.
report?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Well, I'm going to call you out of order and we're going to move on to, are there any other
Oh,
commission
God.
reports?
What a cheap shot. And that's on the record, too. No transparency.
Point of
no
order.
nothing.
Madam Chair.
There's been a point of order and I'm going to rule on the point of order. The point of order is that you are out of order.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
And we're going to move on. Drew, you said you do need an executive session?
Yep, under 125(2), sub 3, and sub 4.
Thank you. I need a motion to go into executive session under SDCL 125-2, subsections 3 and 4. Can I get that motion, please?
Motion for that, Otten.
Is there a second?
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Alicia, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Putnam?
I guess so.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Otten?
Yes.
Aaron's?
Yes.
Landine?
Yes, motion carries. And a second to come out of executive session. Alicia, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Putnam?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Otten?
Yes.
Aaron's?
Yes.
Landine?
Yes, motion carries. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.